Hello. It's First Friday at Gallery 1 in March, and we're going to start letting people into the Zoom room that we're also pushing out there to the World Wide Web on YouTube. My name is Monica, so I'm going to start welcoming people into the space. Hi. Hi, Judith. Hi, Tim. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Erin. Thanks for the wave. Linda, hello. Bill, you made it. Look at you. Oh, hi, Richard.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome. Nice to see you again. It's been like 20 years, but that's okay. Hi, Beth.
Hey.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm facilitating the laptop, but trying to look into the camera too, so it might look a little distracting. Jay. Krista and Carl together in one on Sarah's channel.
Oh, oops.
Cool. We're letting people in, and we'll get going here in just a sec. Want to make sure I say hi to everybody. Henry, Evan, hello. Harold, Eugene, or Jean, I think I saw. This is cool. Looks like we have a lot of the art here that were able to join us. We have 18 participants right now. Well, Carl plus Krista, that makes 19. Oh, we lost Carl though. Okay, I'm gonna get a gallery view going. So we stop the screen share. Hopefully you guys can all see each other, and I have the gallery view on. Welcome to Gallery 1.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hello.
I unmuted it.
Great. If you wouldn't mind muting it unless you're speaking, that would be helpful. I'm standing here in the main space of Gallery 1, wanted to, as much as possible, give you a sense of where your work is being exhibited. We're so happy to have your work here. The exhibit looks gorgeous. Of course, I take no credit in that. Obviously, our jurors for the Cups of the Conscience show, Beth Lowe and Richard Notkin, had everything to do with the selection of the work, and Renee Adams, who I believe you've all met in one way or another, had everything to do with putting it together. She's incredible. I hope you agree. She's out there on YouTube, so she's watching. Yay, Renee, thank you. I mentioned my name is Monica Miller. I'm the director of Gallery 1. I've been here about 8 years as the director, and I fell in love with this place because, well, not only is it just a gem here in Ellensburg, Washington, rural Washington, on the land of the Confederated Tribes and Bands.
Said it was a mistake to think that.
And just because it's a great spot, if that wasn't enough, it also happens to have a really sweet ceramic studio. And so part of what we try to do here is to showcase the incredible breadth and talent of ceramic artists as well, to inspire our local community members to try their hand at clay as well. While you're here, if you don't mind, I'd like to take advantage of you as my audience and tell you a little bit about Gallery 1, and then we'll move into some more specifics about the show and get to see some more artwork and meet some more artists and learn about our jurors, or hear from our jurors. So if you'll indulge me here. So hopefully you've gotten a chance to check us out before you submitted work to be shown here, but we are located downtown historic Ellensburg, as I mentioned, on the land of the Confederated Tribes and Bands of the Yakama Nation. This is a sweet little snapshot of the front of the building. It was built in 1889. It's essentially has 3 levels, and I'm standing on the main level right now. In fact, if you look in the window, the bottom window, you'll see the work of Christanne Ames there on the right-hand side, and I'm just beyond that. And reflected a little bit is our town square. And above those windows are residents or studios for artists. We do a lot of things here. We offer classes for kids and adults. We show artwork, and we like to have events that foster community connections. We welcome opportunities from artists from all over to show their artwork. You'll see here 3 of our staff members welcoming you into the main gallery where I am. We have been offering classes, as I mentioned, for all ages. What you'll see here is one of our first online attempts to provide opportunities in ceramics via Zoom, and I took that class myself, and I have to say it was pretty successful. We had all coil built some vessels there. Yay! We also have an online gift shop where we promote artists from around the region as well. I encourage you to visit that spot and learn about the artists in the region and support local and regional artists. We produce a number of events that, as I mentioned before, are meant to create community connections. One of our favorite events is a Cha series. It's a really interesting way to learn about community members centered around a theme. And our next one is centered around the World Wide Web. And we've invited 7 community members to talk about their experience on the internet over the past year. And that will also be broadcasted on the World Wide Web, on our YouTube station channel, Gallery 1 Ellensburg. So I invite you to come back and learn more about our community. We also do something called Confab. Sometimes we break it up throughout the year. This year, we're going to do a day-long event where we invite artists to talk about their careers, do some peer networking, and try to pick up some nuggets of wisdom to help propel your careers forward. And finally, here is our said ceramic studio. And I believe our ceramic studio manager, Christanne Ames, is here. Krista, hello. Can you see her?
Hi,
Maybe.
thanks.
Yay! I'm getting there. Oh, anyways, all of those things and more can be found on our website at gallery-1.org. I hope that you have been able to visit that site already. There's a beautiful slideshow of the work that is in the exhibit here in the main gallery for you to see. And of course, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook as well, where we try to stay pretty active in terms of keeping you in touch with everything that you're doing. This event that we are all part of right now is also streaming live on YouTube. So you could either invite friends to watch it or go back and just revisit memories. We have a couple of other exhibits. I mentioned that we are 3 stories, so we actually have 6 to 7 things and more can be found on our website at gallery-1. If you are not speaking, and you could mute. Hi again. I'm back. I'm doing this. We have a number of exhibits here around the space. I'll just tell you a little bit about them. I want to make sure that we're all on the screen now. Give me a second. Ooh, stop share. Okay, here we are. Hi, we're back together again. So upstairs, we have an exhibit that celebrates the work that has been made online over the past year. In the hallway and in our Picasso gallery, we have work that was made by the Student Art Collective at Central Washington University, which is our university here in Ellensburg. And I am wearing the earrings. I want to give a shout out to Bo Carnahan for making these beautiful earrings that I just had to put on because you can't see the exhibit. I thought you'd like to see a little piece of artwork that is in that show and is being made by the students of Central Washington University. On the mezzanine level, which I hope you will get a glimpse of tonight, is the work of local photographer Rasan Burke. He is documenting the 2.24% of Black residents of Ellensburg, and he has also been incredible at documenting the daily protests for Black Lives Matter here at our local courthouse. They're beautiful images. You can find them here. They're also being showcased at the Museum of Culture and Environment at Central Washington University as well, which I believe has a pretty great online exhibit, so you'll be able to access that from wherever you are. And wherever you are is from all over. We're so happy to welcome artists into this space from New York. Hello. Texas. Do you have internet connection right now? I hope so. You're welcome to say hello in the chat too. Let us know where you're from. Hopefully everybody can see the chat there. Virginia, Massachusetts, California, just all over. So this exhibit really spans the entire country as well as the issues, I would say, of the entire country. Our goal was to show how art can inspire us during difficult times, were one of our goals. And though the content is very reflective of contemporary issues around equity, social justice, global warming, it still does leave us inspired. I was going to say that when you walk into the space, you feel like you are walking into the front page of the New York Times. But that thought was trumped by Bill Cravis with his piece, Reality Season 1, which you'll see a little bit more of later. So thank you, Bill. And he's joining us now. He drove up from Bend, installed his piece, and is now on his way back to Bend, but made a pit stop in Yakima for, are you there? Where are you? Bill, hi. Oh, he's in a restaurant. Looks nice and sparkly.
No, I'm outdoors in a freezing brewery pub. Drinking kombucha.
Thank you for joining us. Okay. I want to thank Beth Lowe and Richard Notkin for being willing to juror the show for us. I'm going to read a little bit about you. Not that I imagine most of the artists that are here tonight do know, but I want to make sure that our greater audience knows how amazing you are. Ceramicist and mixed media artist. Well, maybe I should. Where are you, Beth? Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Thank you. Hello. Ceramicist and mixed media artist Beth Lowe makes work about family, culture, and language. Her Good Children vessels and sculptures have been exhibited internationally, and she has been the recipient of a United States Artist Fellowship, a National Endowment for the Arts Individual Artist Fellowship, Montana Arts Council Individual Artist Grant, and an American Craft Museum Design Award. She is also a children's book illustrator and professional bass player. Cool, I wish I would have known that earlier. We could have had a little music. She retired after 30 years of teaching ceramics at the University of Montana in 2016. Congratulations, yay. Our next, where are you? Richard, okay, you're next on the stage. Place the spotlight, hello. A studio artist who now lives in Vaughan, Washington. welcome to Washington. Richard Notkin's teapots and ceramic sculptures have been exhibited internationally and are in more than 70 public collections, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, the Smithsonian Institution in DC, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, and the Shigaraki Ceramic Cultural Park in Japan. Among his awards are 3 artist fellowships from the National Endowment for the Arts and grants from the John Simon Guggenheim Memorial Foundation and the Louis Comfort Tiffany Foundation. In 2008, Notkin was elected a Fellow of the American Craft Council and awarded a Hoy Fellowship by the United States Artist Foundation. He is also the recipient of the Malloy Stevenson Award from the Archie Bray Foundation in Helena, Montana, and the Honorary Membership Award from NCECA, the National Council on Education for the Ceramic Arts. In short, these guys are awesome. And I'm very happy now to pass the mic to them. Thank you. And I think if you guys don't mind, we'll start with Beth. I've asked both of them to make some remarks about their work and your experience. And I'm starting with Beth because both B and L come before R and N, and so that just seems to make sense to make some remarks. And while you're doing that, we are going to try to attempt something we've never done before, which we basically do here every day, and stream in a camera to give you more of a panoramic experience of this exhibit. So thank you, Beth.
Well, thank you guys for hosting this great show. It's a fabulous opportunity to see work that it has high craftsmanship, aesthetic concerns, and some content that comes out of probably one of the most stressful years that we've had in recent memory, for me anyway. So I thought that it was a timely show and just a wonderful opportunity for Richard and myself to see some work that maybe we hadn't seen before. It's also kind of wonderful to see some of you guys' faces. I kind of did a little back and forth and looked at some of the people, and I remember some of the names. I could match some of the names with people. It looks like there was Richard and I thought it was a pretty impressive competition. There was some really good work and work that we hadn't seen before from artists that we didn't know. And we were really pleased, I think, in general, with the high quality of the work. One comment that I had was, and I don't know if this is applicable for everyone, but some of the artists seemed like they were fairly young, maybe just out of school. And it's a really excellent career path to go do these juried shows where people can see your work. Granted, and in some ways, actually, with the fact that so much is online now, that the work gets seen by more than people who just stop in the gallery, which I think people are cluing into virtual exhibitions much more than they would have if it hadn't been for COVID. So your work is getting seen by a lot of people, and it's a really great opportunity to go from juried shows to invitationals to solo exhibitions. So for young artists, I just encourage you to keep trying and keep putting the work out there. And if any of the people who applied and didn't get in are listening, many encouraging words to keep going. There were a lot of, if we could have, we thought we could have juried more in, but we felt like this was sort of a uniform group. Really liked the humor, really liked the visual expressions of passion for an issue. I think that art can speak to people in a way that sometimes plain language can't. Sometimes I feel like we're preaching to the choir. You're speaking to people that already think how you do. But I think to show a few different angles on things, or to possibly encourage someone who doesn't think like you to see something in a new way, art has a really great way of doing it in, and it can be in a very gentle way. Sometimes it can be aggressive, but also lots of times it can be persuasive in a way that is not possible with words. So congrats to all. I wanted to say one other thing about working with Dick. You guys are lucky to have him involved with this particular show because of his history with political ideas in art, and also because, like, through his work, he is extremely careful and detailed and thorough. And I felt like it raised the bar for me too, to be a better juror. So thanks, Dick. Thanks to Renee. Thanks to Krista. I'm sure she was a little bit involved in this. So if anyone has any questions, it would be fine to ask. Otherwise, I'll turn it over to Dick.
Well, thank you. Can you hear me? Am I unmuted and
Yes.
you can hear me?
Yes, you
Okay.
are. Thank you.
Oh, hi.
And would you mind if we just got a sense of the work in the space? Would you mind if, while you were talking, I also showed some of the slides of the work?
In a minute, yeah, because I just wanted to start by, in the spirit of opening receptions, even though we're not all together, I'd like to raise a toast to everybody out there. I don't know if the rest of you have something to drink, but I've got a little bit of wine in a Jessica Brandel cup here. Jessica didn't enter the show. She probably would have gotten in. But anyway, a toast to all of you.
Great idea. Thank you.
Well, I have to say, I've juried a number of shows. I guess it's the curse of getting older and recognized in the field. It's a task that I don't think people seek out, because you always have to take just the smaller amount of the work, a smaller percentage of the work than what's entered. And that's pretty tough. You disappoint a lot of people. You might even make some enemies and not too many friends. When you jury a show alone, you get blamed for all the decisions. The nice thing about jurying with someone else is you can always blame the other person for the people who were rejected. So anyway, anyone who might be tuning in who was rejected, I loved your work. It's all Beth's fault. So just kidding. It was great jurying with Beth. We saw eye to eye on pretty much everything. I mean, the work that is in the show really is top quality. The greatest thing about it, and this is the positive side about jurying a show, is you're introduced to a lot of work you would never have seen otherwise. And we saw some fantastic work by some young artists that really knocked our socks off, like this guy, Juan Barroso. I mean, I was so impressed that I searched for him online. I looked at his website. I saw his drawings and paintings, and I thought, my God, this is a very young, talented, emerging artist. And this is one of the joys about jurying a show. Anyway, I do want to thank everyone at Gallery One for inviting me, and I want to thank you for pairing me with Beth. Beth and I go back many years. We've been friends and colleagues for many years, and it's just been a delightful experience, and I'm glad to be here. And what more can I say? I did mention in my juris statement something that I do want to repeat, because after more than 5 decades of pretty much imbuing my own work with social and political commentary, something that I've really come to feel very strongly about is that if you're going to put some kind of statement, some kind of commentary in your work, in your art, you have to remember that first and foremost, you're an artist, that it's the art that carries the message, and not the other way around. No matter how much, no matter how strong your message is, if the art isn't strong, it won't carry the message. The message will not carry the art. And I think this is true no matter what your media is, whether you're an author or a filmmaker, a musician, you know, it's the art that carries the message. You know, Guernica carries the message. Bob Dylan's "Blowing in the Wind" carries the message. It's those words and the tune, and so, you know, I guess I can go on forever, but you get the idea. You know, the art carries the message. The message alone won't carry the art. So that's, I guess, what I have to offer.
Thank you. Cheers.
So if there are any questions for either Beth or I, or maybe we could start a conversation. I don't know what you have in mind from this point on, but it would be nice to just open it up, I suppose.
I do think some questions would be nice in conversation, but I'm pretty sure that we might have some artists that would like to hear your selections of the awards.
Oh, righto.
So I don't know, maybe we should have the conversation first before the awards. But do you guys want to draw straws, or would you like to make the announcements, or would you like me to facilitate that? I have slides of the work or the artists that you selected, and I'm happy to pass the mic back to you or make the announcements.
Yeah, Monica, would you make the announcements, and then maybe Beth and I could just comment on our choice.
Great idea. Okay, so I will try my sharing screen again. So we'll start with, you had a couple of honorable mentions. And the first honorable mention goes to Ehren Tool.
Richard, why don't you speak here?
All right. Well, Ehren Tool. Ehren Tool. Who the heck is Ehren Tool? My God, this guy. Now, actually, I have to admit, I've known Ehren for a while, and Ehren is amazing. Ehren's work comes so much from his heart. Ehren is a guy who fills a doorway. He's got a huge chest, because if you didn't have such a huge chest, you could not encompass the man's heart. He's got a huge heart. Ehren is a veteran of, I believe, the first war in Iraq, and experienced combat, and has become a very outspoken critic of war and the sheer inhumanity of it. He's taken this on in the form of making thousands, literally thousands, I think tens of thousands of cups that incorporate images of war, and has distributed these, I think internationally, sending them for no compensation at all to world leaders, to leaders of our country, to just everyone all around the world, all around. Just a phenomenal approach to art making and spreading the word visually. And I'm just so glad that he entered this show. And I'm just blown away by his approach. You know, it's not the usual art world kind of commodity approach. It's just a very pure reaching out and spreading a message that is very that he's very passionate about, and I think the passion is very obvious when you look at the work. So anyway,
Richard.
I know Ehren is on the line, and I hope I didn't embarrass you, Ehren, but
Too
I
late
love you
now.
and I love your work.
I love you. And your
Oh,
work.
thank
All right.
you. I was handed one of Aaron's mugs by one of his fellow Dirty Canteen members, Dan Donovan, who went to school at Central. He's like, "Oh, my friend makes these mugs. You should take one." And yeah, they're beautiful to use and powerful to look at. So thank you. Okay, next honorable mention, and I think maybe Beth, you'll take the stage for this one. And if Madeline is here, I welcome an opportunity for pronunciation. Otherwise, I'm going to try Kaczmarczyk.
Or as I like to say, cash my check. So you're really
Cash my
close. Thank you.
My check. Are you
Thank you.
here? Yeah, there you are. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
We felt like this piece was one of the most unusual pieces that we had seen in terms, or these pieces, the use of the beadwork on ceramics was something that I hadn't seen before, and it really made it stand out to me. And it has such decorative life to it, color and contour and movement and joyousness, that I just felt like these kind of jumped out from the crowd in a really wonderful way. I was wondering if they had, to me, they had a discussion possibly about women's work or ethnicity. And I was wondering, is there an ethnic background to the beadwork or the design for you?
Not technically, except that I am from a Polish heritage, and my mom was the kind of woman who would have been an artist if she had had the opportunity of exposure to the arts. You know, instead she was constantly cake decorating and doing cold ceramics and gardening and flower growing. So it comes from that. And also in my statement, I just talked about how she grew up during the Depression. So as soon as she and my aunts all had a little bit of money, they would buy these very fine porcelain cups and saucers. And this is because it brought something beautiful to their lives. And so these cups are sort of a response and in memory of them.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I think they do that exact job. Yeah. Thank you.
And our next, we're going to move to Award of Merit for this one comes with $100 with it. Julie Kornblum.
Yeah, I think what really struck.
Richard, sorry, for some reason you were muted. So if you could unmute yourself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, what struck Beth and I about these pieces was, not only their kind of traditional vessel forms, and some of them actually, some of the pieces that were submitted were almost very gestural in their form, almost like some of the work that was being done during the clay revolution. But we really like the fact that they were made of recycled material, and just that notion of working with recycled material really spoke to us. You know, we are a throwaway culture. There's so much garbage, and so we thought that merited an award. We just thought that there was kind of a really nice innovative spirit about that, the use of recycled material. So Beth, did you have anything in addition to that to add?
Maybe once again, that idea, it had a hint of women's labor in that sort of basket weaving sensibility in the work. The piece that you showed was not one of the pieces that I think we had juried. There was some very joyous use of plastic toys and stuff. I mean, that one had the dinosaurs in it, the one that you just showed online, but some of the other pieces had just some very unusual choices of old plastic toys that had sort of history and memory and references. So I think that's
and we were lucky enough to have 5 of her pieces here, so there is quite a range.
Oh, good.
I'm just horrible. I just can't keep secrets, obviously. Maybe you guys saw the screen share where I moved on to the next recipient. Did you see what Krista? She's like, there she goes again. So I'll just use that opportunity to move forward. To the next recipient, I wonder who that is, a best non-traditional approach. And this comes with a $200 award for Krista Ann Ames. And try to share my screen in the right way here again. So congratulations, Krista. If I haven't mentioned this already, and then I'll stop. She is also our ceramic studio manager here, and we're lucky to have her. So hello, thank you.
Well, can you hear me this time?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
I do know Krista, and Krista, these are beautiful, and I have to say I did not know you were the studio manager there, and these are incredibly timely, especially with the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg just a few months ago. You know, I do have a question. Do you drink through these? Do they turn upside down to drink through them, or?
You drink through the crown.
You drink through the crown. Okay. Yeah. I did not know. I wasn't sure, but they're really remarkable. A really nice likeness, and technically they're just beautiful. And as I said, they're really quite timely. Quite timely. The image of Ruth Bader Ginsburg speaks volumes. Speaks volumes about justice, about women's issues, about equality, not just women's equality. That was the thing about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Equality across the board. And I think that that's what really spoke to me, and I think Beth too.
Ditto.
Thank you.
Very, very strong work.
Thank you.
A pleasure to view. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful.
We have 2 more awards. We'll move to best traditional approach, and that goes to Juan Barroso. I don't know if Juan is here, but yay. I think his work is right here behind me. Would anyone like to speak on this work?
Can I bring that image up?
It's not up? Oh,
I'll just start while you're trying to get the image up. I love drawing. I love two-dimensional work on 3 dimensions, and the drawing quality was just stunning. And then the forms were original, and the senses of proportion and design were very strong. And then the messages that not only technically were the drawings beautiful, but the messages that he conveyed. And I wish I could see the rest of them because I can't completely remember exactly, but the images are striking and heartfelt and moving. So I think Richard and I both were quite struck by this person's work and excited about him going forward and seeing what else he has to do, what else he has to offer. I'm sorry he's not here. If he's not here, I'd like to put a face to the name. Do you guys know him? Anybody know him? No.
no, and I'm
yes,
feeling,
do.
Oh.
As I mentioned earlier, when I talked just a little before, and I mentioned that one of the joys of jurying a show is discovering artists that you've never whose work you've never seen before, that you have no idea they're out there. And I was so impressed with his work that I did go to his website, found that he's in Texas. He's very involved with migrants from Mexico and Central and a lot of his work, he does a lot of painting and drawing as well. He's both a ceramics and a painting major. I think he's in a master's program right now, or he recently finished the master's program. So he's in his mid-20s, I believe. Very, very talented. But all of his images have to do with like crossing the desert, and there's various other images with like water cans and whatnot. But very stunning, very wonderful, heartfelt images. And as Beth said, the drawing quality is remarkable. If you really go into it, this is all done with little dots of underglaze. At first I thought it was underglaze pencil, but it's little dots of underglaze. Unbelievable. So anyway, both the content and the technical skill really kind of blew me out of the water.
thank you. Finally, our last award of the evening. Let's see if I get this right. Ooh, there we go. Bill Cravis, who I mentioned earlier, drove up from Bend today to install this work, and I'll let either Beth or Richard speak to that. This is a $300 award for most innovative message.
I'm just going to start and then I'll let Richard talk. His work also blew us away. So smart, so ambitious, so original, so appropriate to have these New York Times headlines appear on the cups over a course of a period of time. And then the idea of having them change scale was really brilliant. So just taking the idea of the cup and taking it this far, we just thought that was very striking and very impressive. Richard, you want to say anything too?
Well, yeah, I'm always impressed to find somebody who's more obsessive and compulsive and crazy than I am. And this guy did it. This was, I believe, I counted in the exhibition. There's are there only 7 of these panels? I remember when we saw the actual thing, we didn't know if the whole installation would fit, but I believe originally there were 13 panels, each one successively smaller. The first mugs are pretty damn big. They're like about, the size of a German beer stein. And the last ones you can see are really small. And this idea of these quotes from Trump and whatnot, the headlines getting smaller and smaller and kind of diminishing. I just love that concept. But to put this much time and energy and, it's just, as I said, it just impresses me to find someone more obsessive and compulsive than I am. But it's just
There he is.
a wonderful piece. It's very there's not only a seriousness to it, but kind of a tongue-in-cheek quality too. And I think it really tickled both Beth and I. And anyway, it really was sort of the most kind of innovative and I would say if there was an award for the most outlandish, it certainly would have gotten that too. So Bill, congratulations. I loved your piece.
Yes, me too. And thank you for taking the time to come and install it, and for stopping and freezing your butt off in the cold there.
Man, it was all worth it.
Yeah. And you say you're in Yakima, Washington right now?
Well, I wanted to make this Zoom call, so I drove away from Ellensburg and I'm on my way back to Bend.
And
We gave him a little tip. We didn't let anybody else know, but we did give him a little tip. We went, oh, you're driving back right now? Well, maybe you want to stop in about an hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But seriously, this does make it all worthwhile because it's hard to make obsessive work that doesn't get much recognition and is definitely not marketable.
That's one of the downsides of social and political commentary. Yeah, you won't get many corporate commissions. Yeah.
I think it's saleable, though. I would like a cup. I would like a few of those cups. They're wonderful. Yeah.
I agree. I think we could probably sell quite a handful if they were available by the mug or month.
Maybe just borrow.
A lending library. Yeah. Well, people already just, it's only been up today, but after you left, Bill, someone's like, these sayings are just like incredible. That it's like, yeah, they're headlines.
This is an example of where I think visual art can do something that a conversation can't necessarily. To see all of that at once and to realize what it is, that's an aha moment, I think. And that can't come in a lot of different formats. So congratulations. I think you did a great job.
Well, congratulations to everyone here for making the work in this time, just continuing to explore, your message and your true self, and to share it with the rest of the world. I know it's been a really hard year for artists, specifically in terms of, navigating all of the changes of residencies and exhibits. And, from what we've been doing here at Gallery One, we know that there's been so much influx about when you will show your work again, where you're going to show your work again, how you're going to show your work. And at one point we had to close our entire space, at the beginning of the shutdown for 6 to 8 weeks, and not even allowing our resident artists upstairs. Luckily, we were able to offset their rent for that, but I think it's just, we've been all so deeply impacted by it that having this work here in a way feels very healing and also powerful. So thank you. Richard, you had mentioned being willing to take any questions, or if I feel like we have about 10 minutes left. If anybody would like to ask questions of Beth, Richard, make any comments about the work, we could welcome that now.
Yeah, if anyone wanted to raise hand or anything, I don't know how that all works.
Hi, this is for Beth.
Well,
Hey, Beth. Hey, what kind of pie was that? Was that pie?
it was not pie,
Okay.
but I only had 2 bites. See, there's still lots left. I was just delivered a piece. So you guys know Bobby Tilton. I'm at Bobby Tilton's cabin at Flathead.
Oh,
So,
nice.
we just had dinner and they brought me a piece of pie. This is all personal, but I've just gotten both of my vaccinations 2 weeks ago. So I am like pretty darn good. So I don't have a mask on. I'm indoors at somebody else's house. It's kind of a milestone. And that's why I got a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, well, thanks again. I really appreciate everyone's energy they put into this. So yeah, it's really cool.
It was great to see everyone's work. Really strong work, you guys. Very good.
Yeah, thank you
Monica?
so much, Beth and Richard, for jurying the show and for answering our pleas and emails.
Thank you guys. Thanks for Gallery One for being a wonderful organization.
Oh, to everyone. Thank you, Beth. Oh, from Kevin.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gallery One, for doing this show, and Richard and Beth. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And next time we zip through Ellensburg, we'll have to stop and see you. And
Absolutely. We're right off of I-90.
Yeah, and Krista, I didn't know you were so close. Stop in sometime.
Yeah, I know it's a recent thing. I just got here, 5 months before the pandemic, and then
Great work, artist. Kevin posted stuff.
I didn't post.
Oh, it was down there.
Well, maybe I'll get it. Upload those that are creating, making works when.
Monica, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, this is Gene Provenzo in Stanton, Virginia.
Oh, welcome, Gene. There you are.
Thank you. I've been here, but not able to get my, this is the first time I've ever used Zoom.
Oh, welcome to the Zoom room.
I also made the mistake of not turning off NPR and then couldn't find where it was, so I got both going at once on the speakers. I wanted to thank you for having provided the opportunity to participate in this, and I've really enjoyed the session tonight. For William, I really liked the mugs or pots. I'm not sure what they were, but I just would like to share with you that I've been doing a very large
They don't do that
project, of which a couple of the pieces that I submitted to the show were primarily about. And I work primarily as a assemblage sculptor, but also a collage artist. And what I've done, which is, I think great minds must think alike, I basically have created 3 separate books of Trump collages that have gone through his entire administration. And one of them is all of the headlines on it's Trump's coronavirus diary. And it's all of the headlines from the New York Times that day that something wasn't done. And on the opposite page is a collage. For example, one shows him sitting on top of a pile of skulls from a 19th century political cartoon, and he's in a general's outfit. And it's talking about the number of people dead that day in the thing. But I hope it's great minds thinking alike, because it was taking something similar but doing a very different twist on it. I think it was, though, intended to get that sense of chronology and the overwhelming character that you obviously clearly gotten with your piece or your installation. So I just really enjoyed it and wanted to thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
We love those opportunities to meet new people and to connect. And it's rewarding to see that happening even in this new altered reality. So yeah, thank you for reaching out, Jean, across the internet to Bill. And I do hope, as Beth mentioned earlier, I do hope that by seeing each other's work, that there are some genuine connections that are made. I hope that you stay connected with Gallery One, with each other. We're happy to help facilitate any of that if need be, or if you'd like to do that. And we, welcome you here in this space, either, in real life or on our YouTube channel, or however works for you, wherever you are. I feel like it feels like a natural time to wrap this time together up, but I do really...
Monica, Ehren
Yeah?
has some really great questions in the chat.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that. Right. Yeah.
Don't be modest.
You do that. You'll need to unmute yourself and welcome to the mic.
All right, I wrote them down. Richard, I was wondering that CPAC had that wretched golden calf statue of Trump. I wondered if they had approached you about a Trumpolini. Just in general for everybody, if we're not going to sell out corporate, like what's success as a socially conscious or political or however you define yourself artist?
Oh, no, CPAC, the recent political action committee, the Conservative Political Action Committee, and I think it was in Orlando last weekend, they didn't approach me. I certainly would have offered them an exhibition full. I've got lots of them. Nobody will buy them. I keep making them. I can show you a couple. This is, can you see this one? This is Trump is a coronavirus here. These are all based on the spinning, the spinning portrait of Mussolini, which you may be familiar with, done in about 1933. It was called Profilo Continuo del Mussolini, and it was actually a meant as a complimentary piece about how Mussolini could see in 360 degrees. Anyway, this is the this was called, I believe, When It Gets Warmer, It Will Go Away. This is another in the series. This one is just called The Hoax. This is part of the global warming series. But anyway, these are some of the Trumpolinis. So, but the short answer is no. They didn't ask me for any of my pieces.
I'll jump in about success, because I think that's a really tough question for people who want to make a difference in the world. I think that, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes we feel like we're just preaching to the choir, and does that do any good? So I like pieces that are subtly subversive, like the Williams piece that I talked about, how you get information in a different way, that art can communicate in a different way. For my own work, I just try to make a little nudge rather than a big push, a big statement. And so that hopefully I'll just allow someone to maybe see that as a Chinese American, I have something that I feel like I have to share and get people used to seeing things that are foreign and things that they don't understand, that makes a little subtle change in their lives. And then the final thing that I try to do a little bit is to use the work for fundraising of some kind. So if I make a piece and then I advertise that this piece, the proceeds from this piece, like my COVID series, is going to the Montana Nurses Association. But it's hard. I'd say it's very difficult. It's hard to know, but it's better than not doing something.
Yeah. You know, Beth, I think it's the whole gamut. I think we need things that are subtle. I think we at times need things that are just blatant as hell. And I think we need everything in between. And I think we need art that doesn't say anything other than it's beautiful. I think we need abstract work. I think, Mozart, there's no message there other than it's beautiful. And I think, the main message of art is that there's something wonderful about the human spirit. We're creative beings. We're not just a bunch of destructive assholes. And that's the universal message of art. And so I think everything from just the sheer beauty of it all to sometimes the sheer insanity of human potential. And everything in between needs to be expressed. And I think it's all up to the moment and the passions of the artist. And so I'm all for everything. And, I never want to come across as this kind of Billy Graham of social and political art. This is not an evangelistic quest. I'm for all art. Andre Malraux once said, art is a revolt against man's fate. And I think that's it. All art. All art.
That's good, Richard.
Richard.
Yes.
Again, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, this is Gene.
Yeah.
I love the futurist Mussolini. I've spent a lot of time looking at that piece. I think that's a great idea you've got there. Just to share one other thing that, great minds thinking alike. One of my collages that's in the series I mentioned is I have a background in, I'm a historian by training, and I have a background way back in graphology, the study of handwriting. And anyways, I have a piece that compares, a small collage that compares Mussolini's handwriting with Trump's. The very large, long, elongated letters and the spacing. They're virtually identical.
Wow.
And I think probably from a psychological point of view and from the narcissism that was evident in both of them, it may be very, very closely related. But if I can get your email, I'll be glad to send you a copy of that. It's really, the piece is very simple. It's just showing, it's a box, a square, and it measures about 5 inches, and it just simply shows Trump's handwriting compared to Mussolini's to Trump's. And by the way, I refer to it in terms of Trumpolino.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really weird. And I think in terms of your lovely, I'm not sure what you call them lovely, but just trying to say how positive I feel about them. The Mussolini statue, or whatever you call it. It's very definitely in the same spirit. So if you got a pencil there, I can give you. You could email me your email address.
Yeah, well, I could just tell you. And
oh, okay. Let me hold on.
It's real simple. It's just notkinrichard@gmail.com.
Notkinrichard@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay, I will send you a copy in the morning.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, and unfortunately, Mussolini didn't have Sharpie markers. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, with that connection just being made,
yeah.
I think this is a natural place for us to wrap up this experience, but invite you to make and continue the personal connections and dialogue that hopefully this exhibit has created for you. It always warms my heart when people meet each other here in this space now in real life or virtual. So thank you all for being part of that experience. And again, I want to encourage you. And if you're watching on YouTube and you're just learning about the show and meeting these artists for the first time, I invite you into the gallery if you can come and visit and see this work in real life, because it's beautiful, it's heartwarming, it's inspiring, and it's of the times. So thank you again to our jurors, Richard Notkin and Beth Lowe. So lovely to meet you, even in this way. And also, again, thank you to the artists for doing what you do, because the world needs it and appreciates it. So
Thanks, Monica.
Thank you.
Valerie,
thank you.
Beth, and all of the artists. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all. I think what I'll do is just do another screen share of the work, just one more round, and you can choose to leave as you see fit, just as a nice closing of this moment together, and then I will officially end. Oh, I gotta find it though. Okay, officially end the meeting after we get an opportunity to just review the work one more time. Oh, you can do it? Yeah.
It has the other slides in it.
Great. Here we go. Thank you all. And you feel free to chat if you want to while we do that, or take your leave, and then I will end the meeting after we scroll through the work one more time, that you can also visit online as well. Thank you.